And the Adamawa State House of Assembly is considering a piece of legislation that will subject all job seekers, applicants for political appointments, and students seeking admission into tertiary institutions of learning in the state to undergo a mandatory drug test. Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly at the opening of a public hearing on the draft legislation said the imperative of controlling the adverse effect of drugs and other illicit substance abuse on the society informed the consideration for a legislative backing to strengthen the fight against drug abuse. The report.
Gathered here at this committee room in the Adamawa State House of Assembly complex are persons and agents of the state in the front lines of the anti-drug campaign to consider a piece of legislation. Some of those present here say is the game changer in the anti-drug war. This draft bill for a law to provide for mandatory drug and other illicit substance testing for applicants for appointment, employment, and admission into state public and educational institutions, and to provide for other matters incidental thereto at its formative stages, will make it mandatory for drug tests to be conducted for all job seekers, applicants for political appointment, and students seeking admissions into any tertiary institutions of learning in Adamawa State.
The problem is not only limited to our schools. What is happening in our government institution is better imagined than real. Drugs and illicit substance abuse has become a fashion amongst public and civil servants. The bill is therefore a deliberate effort by the sponsor and the honorable members to curtail the trend by nipping the problem in bud through legislation. We acknowledge the effort of the National Drugs Enforcement Agency in fight against drugs abuse, but it's our conviction that the fight is for everybody. Hence, this bill. I therefore urge you to be frank, meticulous, and free in your submissions.
Drugs and some illicit drugs is a problem to our own community, our society in general. So we believe maybe by enacting this law, we'll reduce some crime in our society. Robbing, kidnapping, roaming about, school dropout and all that thing. It will reduce for our own understanding. Because once you have this, we have this law, one, before you be employed, you must be tested. If you are sure you are a student, you are schooling, you'll be afraid to take drugs because you know once you finish this school, you need employment. If you want to be employed, if they tested you positive, maybe you cannot get it.
An abuse of drugs, I think, is the major problem in the whole world now, not even Nigeria or Adamawa, the whole world as a whole. And the control of drugs is paramount. It's very important because there is a saying that youth are the leaders tomorrow. But with this development of drug abuse, the chances of them to be leaders tomorrow is blinking.